The death of Aaron. Decades of wandering were ending. They had been turned away from Edom's path and now stood before a mountain of red stone, Mount Hor. The assembly, having lost Miriam and still reeling from the judgment at Meribah, looked up at the heights. Moses and Aaron knew this was not just a stopping point, but the final boundary for the high priest. The Lord's judgment was about to be fulfilled. On the plain below the mountain, the Lord's voice came to the brothers, clear and terrible. Aaron shall be gathered to his people. He will not enter the land I have given the Israelites, because you both rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. The words were a final etching of the cost of that moment of human frustration. Priesthood does not override purity. The command continued. Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor. Strip Aaron of his garments and put them upon Eleazar. Aaron shall die there. This sacred final duty was to be performed publicly. Moses did exactly as the Lord commanded. In the full sight of the entire congregation, the three men, prophet, priest, and successor, began the long, silent ascent. The climb was a long, slow meditation. Aaron, carrying the full weight of the high priesthood for the last time, spoke softly to his brother. I was with you at Pharaoh's court. I helped hold up your hands during the battle. We carried this people together. Moses only nodded, his gaze fixed on the summit. The bond of 80 years was being severed by divine will, not by failure of love. Finally, they reached the desolate, wind-swept peak. The tabernacle, the ark, the fire, all were far below. This stark summit was the new, temporary Holy of Holies. The time had come. Moses began the slow, deliberate work of removing the vestments, the breastplate, the ephod, the turban symbols that tied Aaron's life to the service of God and to the fate of Israel. One by one, the sacred objects were transferred. Moses placed the mitre upon Eleazar's head and secured the elaborate breastplate over his heart. The weight of the office visibly settled upon the son. He was no longer just a priest, but the link between God and the assembly, receiving the authority directly from the hand of the prophet in the shadow of his dying father. Aaron stood on the peak, stripped of the glorious garments, clothed only in the linen beneath. He was no longer the high priest. It was Aaron, the brother, the servant, the man who had seen the glory and sinned in his anger. He turned toward the east.